Hello everybody, and welcome back to Screen Stars, and welcome to my next top 10 list. And if you have been following the channel, you know that I've been focusing my classic film reviews lately on the brilliant actor Mel Gibson. Now, Mel Gibson divides opinion with many, certainly over the last decade, in regards to some of the trouble he has got himself into, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about as Mel Gibson as an actor, and this top 10 list is primarily Mel Gibson as an actor. I am not including the films on here that he has directed, even though I think there's at least one in here that he did direct, but this is focusing on him in front of the camera. And as I think you will agree after watching this list, he has been involved in some incredible films over the years, and definitely one of my favourite actors, and has continued to evolve as the decades have gone on, and he's still relevant today in my opinion. So I hope you enjoy the list, everybody. Thanks for watching. As per usual, we get a couple of honourable mentions on lists like this, and the first one I wanted to mention is probably one of my favourite comedies that he's done, and that is the film What Women Want from the year 2000, a comedy that he made with Helen Hunt, who was red hot at the time. She just won the Oscar, and this really shows the comedic side that Mel Gibson does really well when he taps into it in movies, and he plays the guy that can hear what women want and he decides what he's going to do with it, and it ain't all good, but it's fun. And another honourable mention is the 1999 film Payback. Really well made. It's like a revenge film, and he plays this really cool character in it. It's just a really good, well written film, and he's got a really cool part in this, and really quite grown up as well. It's pretty hard hitting for the time, and it wasn't a role that we'd seen often by Mel Gibson, this sort of thing, but it worked really well, and it is certainly worth a watch if you've never seen it. Coming in at number 10 is the 2016 film Bloodfather that nobody saw, unfortunately. I can't even get any box office numbers for this film, but it's a really brilliant film, and Mel Gibson plays a father who is on the run with his daughter, and his daughter has managed to get in trouble with some drug dealers, and Mel Gibson plays an ex-con, an ex-biker enforcer, tattoo artist who's trying desperately to reconnect and protect his daughter from these drug barons, and it's really good. At number 9, the film from 2010, Edge of Darkness, a film that was actually based on a little known BBC drama, I think from the 90s I believe it was, that I didn't see. And this was again a really good film. He plays a father out for revenge, whose daughter is killed, and he's an absolutely brutal police detective, and he's determined to get to the bottom of what is going on, and it may be linked to like a nuclear plant sort of thing. It's a superb film with Ray Winstone involved too. Ice Cream Van. Number 8 on the list is a film called Air America. Again, a film that not many people have watched really. It didn't perform well at the box office. It stars Robert Downey Jr. in one of his earlier roles, and they play like hotshot pilots in the Vietnam War, and it's actually quite a fun film. It's a bit like an action comedy, but it's actually got quite a powerful message at the core of this film as well, and it's quite a lot of fun to watch, and it is certainly one to watch if you've never seen it. At number 7, one of the classic film reviews that I did recently was Ransom, the 1996 film directed by Ron Howard that stars Mel Gibson and Rene Russo, and it focuses on Mel Gibson's child that is kidnapped by Garrison East, a corrupt police detective, and Mel Gibson's got to try and figure out how he's going to get his son back, and he does something quite odd in regards to he puts a bounty on the kidnappers' heads. Number 6, another film that I did a classic film review for, We Were Soldiers, the film from 2002, a really brilliant war story based around the Vietnam War, the first ground battle in the Vietnam War. When I was looking at the box office numbers for this, it didn't do as well as I thought it did. It was actually not much of a hit, but I think it's an outstanding war film, and definitely one you need to see if you've never seen this film. Number 5, this needs a little bit of explaining, because out of the Mad Max films, I will agree that the second one, Mad Max 2, is the best Mad Max film. However, this was the first Mad Max film that I saw I went to the cinema to see this. I'd not seen any of the Mad Maxes before, so this was the first one that I saw, so it has a special place in my heart, this Mad Max film. And I actually still quite like it. I do like the story of this. He's, you know, where he rescues all these children. You've got Tina Turner, you know, with the Thunderdome at the beginning, that huge battle he has with Master Blaster, and I really quite like this story here, and I think it's the most polished of the 3 Mad Max films that Mel Gibson made by far. They really tried to make this film palatable for a cinema audience, and that's probably why some purists don't like it as much. But I personally, this is my favourite. Number 4, the 2000 Roland Emmerich film, The Patriot. This is a film I saw late. It wasn't a film that I was particularly interested in for a long time. It just didn't interest me. And then when I watched it, it absolutely blew me away. It's a great like war film. Mel Gibson plays a devoted father with loads of kids who has to come out of retirement and fight for what he believes in with his son, who's played by Heath Ledger. A really fantastic film. I love it. At number 3 on my list, I think easily one of his best performances on screen by Mel Gibson is the 2002 film Signs. I've actually done a classic film review for this somewhere on the channel, and it's arguably my favourite M. Night Shyamalan film. I love the performances, I love the message, I love the idea. A lot of people throw a lot of the plot holes at you, but actually there's argument to be thrown back at those plot holes with this movie as well. I think it's an almost flawless movie in many ways, and Mel Gibson's performance here is so subtle because he's not playing the hard man, not by any, we'd never really seen that before from him, and it's just a superb film. Number 2, Braveheart. What can you say about this film that hasn't already been said? His first, well, it was just a smash hit. It swept the Oscars. The story of William Wallace. It is one of those epic films that everybody loves. Yes, we all know that I think there were some liberties taken with some of the historical facts here, but you know, instant hero in Scotland when he made this film, and it is an iconic film that will live for a very long time. And number 1 for me has to be Lethal Weapon. It still stands up today. It's still arguably the best action film ever made in my opinion, and it is definitely in that argument. Some people will say Die Hard, some people will say other things. It is in the debate for the best action film ever made, and certainly in my opinion the best buddy cop film ever made. I'm a huge fan of these series of films. I did a classic film review recently for Lethal Weapon where I talked about my love for the Lethal Weapon films. I like them all to varying degrees, but easily the first one is the best one. Superb action, great story, great chemistry between the leads, and this was the film that really shot Mel Gibson into superstardom right at the beginning of his career. There you go, guys. That was my top 10 Mel Gibson list of my favourite films. These are just my favourites. Please put in the comments any that you think I've missed. He's made a load of great films, of course he has, and I'm sure you've got your favourites as well that didn't make this list, but please put in the comments your top 10 favourite Mel Gibson films, or even do your own top 10 list of Mel Gibson films and put a link so I can go and watch it. I would very much enjoy that. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm thinking of doing something a little bit different for my next top 10 list. I'm thinking, and I'm not sure yet, I'm still doing a little bit of research and thinking about it. I'm thinking of doing my top 10 favourite 80s comedies. So many classic comedies in the 80s, and there's so many possibilities for that, so I'm going to have a look into that, and I think I might be doing that one next, but I shall let you know. So once again guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.